And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Nice to see you here.
Hello.
Please share in the chat if you can hear as well. It's working properly. Right, Guy?
I think it is. I can hear you.
Perfect. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Not sure where you are in the world. Perfect. Thank you. I'm based in Lisbon right now. Where are you guys from? Let me see in the chat so that we can see you. You are spread all over. Madagascar,
Oh, wow.
Cool. Vancouver, Canada. Hey, Brazil. Albania, great.
Nice.
That's nice. Argentina, living in Argentina. That's cool. Turkey, Colombia, wow. India, Nigeria. That's wonderful.
Nice.
All right. Venezuela. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this nice event here today, where we are going to share a lot of information around the VanHack Academy. Guy's going to go through all the details with you, as well as some market insights for you to get ready for 2023, because it's around the corner already, right? So thank you again for joining us. Guy, the stage is yours if you want to introduce yourself, and I'll be here around as well. So for everyone that is joining us today, if you have any questions during the presentation, we invite you to share in the Q&A. You can see that on top of the chat. Okay, and of course, we'll be in touch in the chat. You can send your comments and any other suggestions or comments you may have. We are happy to have you here. For those that don't know me yet, I'm Camila. I'm the Academy Business Manager. I'm working here with Guy and the team with this program that VanHack is happy to share with you today. And also I'm working with the Learning Hub area. I'm not sure if you had a chance to check it out yet. Hopefully you had, and check it all the courses and resources we are offering, right, Guy? So yeah, without further ado, please, Guy, the stage is yours, and I'll be around to answer the questions. And that's it. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Cami, and welcome everyone. And well, Cami, I think we gotta let the cat out of the bag sooner rather than later. We have some unfortunate news for you folks. We're gonna do our best, but sadly, Ilya had a minor personal emergency and is not going to be able to join us. Oh, too bad. But Camila and myself are going to do our best to keep you entertained and informed, or well informed, hopefully. So once again, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'll be presenting a little bit of what the Academy is in just a moment, and let me just go ahead and pick up my presentation here. So working with my colleague Camila here, I have been leading the educational experience portion of the VanHack Academy. A program that is aimed at leveling up your tech job hunting game. Hey, folks, we know things are looking a little weird right now. All around the world, things are a bit strange. You see people getting laid off. You see new jobs being posted. There's lots of things going on. But do not fear. Do not fear. We are here. We're going to be helping you as well as we can. And particularly the VanHack Academy has been redesigned over the past few months to make sure we deliver the best possible value to your experience as a tech talent looking for a new job. So let's go ahead and split this quick presentation into 3 parts. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going on with the world now, trying to make sense of what's going on. There's a lot. But I'm going to try and narrow things down to a few items of your particular interest, so you can really focus your efforts when you are applying for new jobs and making plans for your career future. Um, I'm going to briefly introduce the academy as well, and then we're going to discuss very briefly about the future. So let me go ahead and share couple of things I would love for you to know about what's going on in the world right now. First of all, let me state something you already know, no doubt, which is as tech talent, as a tech professional, you are, whether you like it or not, you are part of a global workforce, because it's very unlikely that you have learned your skills or you have been working for a company that does not have any influence from countries or knowledge that has been produced overseas. If you have learned to code, for example, your the language you've learned, the script, the code you can produce is unlikely has been unlikely developed in your own country, right? So you've learned to code, you've learned to create digital products, and that is something that has been developed in different countries around the world. So you are, as I said, part of a global workforce already, whether you speak another language or not, whether you live in a different country than your own or not. Another thing you should know is currently there are millions of open tech jobs. That means positions that haven't been filled in many different countries. If you look at the US alone, there are roughly nowadays about 800,000 jobs that haven't been filled. You look at Canada and there's another 500,000, and then you look at the UK and there's probably another 500,000 or something like that. So there are plenty of jobs in the tech space that haven't been filled. And then you might ask me, hey, but what about Twitter and Facebook? These people have been laying folks off for the past couple of months. What's going on there? I'm going to get there. So if you want to hear a little bit about that, I'm going to get to that particular trend in just a moment. The second thing worth noticing is the rise of remote opportunities. So you've probably witnessed this. Maybe that's what you're looking for. In fact, that many new opportunities and recent job opportunities are more driven towards remote than relocation necessarily. It's not that the relocation opportunities are disappearing, not at all. In fact, it's just that many companies, many different workplaces have opened up and created new policies to adopt different forms of remote work. And finally, another trend I think you should keep an eye out for is the trend of digital transformation. So, of course, the sexiest jobs are probably, on Facebook and Amazon and Netflix and, the big ones, Google, of course. But you should always observe the opportunities in digital transformation, that is, sectors that are not necessarily um, tech in nature or providing value in technology in nature, but are transforming or being transformed. There are plenty of opportunities coming from those places. So let me break this down a little bit for you. Let's talk about a couple more things. First of all, some things that you should be looking at is there are countries, and that number has been increasing over the past few years, that have designed specific programs to attract tech talent. Okay, so you have Canada, for example, Germany, Denmark, the UK, Lithuania, just to name a handful. These are just 5 of the countries that have specific programs designed to attract tech talent. That means you can find a government website, you can create a profile, you can apply for jobs straight from there. They have big pools of opportunities, but there are many more following those. I might not even know all of the countries that have this specific offer. And the other thing you should also know is that there are probably another 50 countries or even more that have one form or another of encouraging policies to hire international talent. Okay, so even if they're not actively seeking as in a government policy, they do have the structure in place, the legislation, the regulations, all of the forms in place to get you there if a company is interested in hiring you. So there are plenty of opportunities. Yeah. Um, and I want to highlight very quickly these four trends that I've one way or another already mentioned. Trend number one is so for those of you who are wondering about, hey, what happens with the 15,000 developers that Facebook laid off last month, or what is going on with the 3,000 that Twitter laid off, or Amazon? You've probably heard of that. And here's the thing, what is going on now? Of course, putting aside the fragile egos of some tech leaders who shall not be mentioned, named, the what is going on now is a reversal of overhiring. So what happened over the past few months is the market is adjusting to what happened during the pandemic. So if you recall, right on the offset of the COVID pandemic, lots of companies, lots of small and medium businesses had to digitize fast, right? And that led to an increase in the use of such major platforms as Amazon, Facebook, Twitter. Everyone went online overnight, right? Or everyone who wasn't yet online. So the world jumped into the scene, and these companies had to adapt quickly. So they had to grow and hire fast. And now that the pandemic's receding finally, these companies are kind of having to adjust their size to improve their efficiency. So that's mostly what's going on. So folks, do not worry about those people getting laid off. There's still plenty of opportunities for everyone. Of course, momentarily, it is going to get a little competitive because you're looking at people who have experience in some of the biggest companies back in the market, and they are likely going to be competing with some of you for some of the positions. So yes, competition is going to get a little fiercer for a while, but still, there's plenty of sun for everyone. So don't worry about that particular trend so much, and instead, it is the time to get ready. It is the time to refine your job hunting skills so you stand out when time comes. Let me tell you a bit about trend number two. So as I mentioned, it's easy for us, and as I said, the sexiest jobs are probably in the big tech companies, but there are lots of opportunities coming from these other companies that are still adapting to the digital setting. So there are lots of digital transformation opportunities. So which sectors are you going to find other new opportunities on? Well, education is one of them. Legal services are another one. Everyone who wasn't in nature developing technology services are now moving into those scenes. So you're likely going to find lots of opportunities there as well. So keep an eye out for those. Particularly if you're looking for interesting, challenging opportunities that will lead you to a management path. There's plenty of room for people with a combination of skills that's not only hard, tech skills, but also people skills and leadership and so on and so forth. The next trend I want to highlight is the following. You, of course, being a tech professional, you have a very a highly praised, highly valued set of skills already, but don't settle. If you don't, now is a good time to also up your game in data overall. So maybe learn a little bit of something as simple as SQL, SQL, however you call it, or learn a new language. If you've been putting off learning a little bit of Python, maybe now it's the time. Or statistics, go study something different from that complements a new skill that complements your main tech skill and so like that. because many of the opportunities are also leading in that direction. It's not, of course, it is still good to be a fantastic full stack, knowing JavaScript and all the frameworks, Node, whatever it is. But it's also very useful for you to know a little more about data. That's going to be an interesting trend coming up in the coming months, and we have noticed it in some of the job postings already. And number four, don't, if you want very much to move away from your home country for a while, if you want to relocate, um, please be mindful of the following. First of all, people are not going to like you very much if you say, yeah, I want a job because I want to move out of my country. So that's not a very smart strategy. If you want to know more about that, in the academy we have lessons designed specific for for around that topic. But the second thing is, employers want to make sure they're making a good choice when they hire you. And once they have hired you and you have moved to a different country, you have gone through all of the loops of relocation, getting visa, residence permits, and all of that. If things don't work out, it's bad for both of you. It's a lot of wasted time and investment in resources and all of that. So, because, as I said, now many companies and countries have new policies in place favoring remote work, you're more likely to find opportunities that are first opening up for remote work. And with time, as your relationship with the company gets better, is built, and there's more trust involved, then with time you might have a relocation opportunity. So don't rule out the remote opportunities, if you even if your focus is on relocation, because they that still might come, but it might take a while longer to get there. All right. Um, from our experience with our current academy members, and over the past few years, we've helped thousands of people get jobs abroad. I want to make sure I highlight the four key challenges every professional, every tech professional looking for international opportunities faces. Particularly for those of you like myself who are not from a country where English is the native language. If you're gonna have that particular issue on your hands. So if you are not fully fluent or advanced in English as a second language, I do encourage you to take classes, do your best, and improve your game. But also don't be too mindful, of that, too self-conscious, let's say, of that, because we live in an international world, in a global world where everyone speaks some level of English, and you're going to be understood even if you're not flawless. So don't worry about becoming and sounding like a native speaker, but you do improve your game if you can. Take classes, travel, study abroad, do what you can, and get your game going. So language is the first and key, probably one of the most important challenges. And for those coming from Latin America, like myself, for example, it tends to be a particularly challenging one, but I'm sure everyone can get there. So we do offer something around that, so I'm going to get to it later. Let me move to the next key challenge, your profile. And when I say your profile, what I'm talking about is your VanHack profile. First of all, if you don't have one, you should. It's completely free. And immediately after you complete, you're ready to start applying for jobs. So there's no reason why not. If you're looking, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a VanHack profile at this point. But I'm also talking about your LinkedIn profile, your CV, your resume, however you call it, or whichever is the asset you're going to need. Um, Having an effective profile is also one of the main challenges for most tech talent. Here's the thing, you want to make sure, first of all, you are not disregarded right at the first minute of the recruitment game, right? You want to make sure you stand out somehow, and whether it's people or an algorithm, they're going to be looking for some keywords. They're going to be looking for some expressions and statements that reassure you are a qualified candidate for a particular position. So you want to make sure your profile is well written, it's effective, it showcases your um, work experience in such way that is attractive, unique and attractive um, to recruiters. So having an effective profile is the second key challenge for anyone looking for a job um, internationally these days. Third one is definitely going to be cultural fit. And this is the one that comes up in the interview. So at this point, when you get to this point in your face-to-face with an interviewer, what they're going to be looking for are signs that you would fit in well in their company. They want to make sure that you are adaptable, that you communicate in a respectful, polite manner, that you are inclusive in your attitudes, that you take initiative. So all of these things are going to be assessed by the interviewer under this broad scope of cultural fit. So being aware of the cultural differences of your own country and the country where you're applying for a job, or having a good understanding um, of a multicultural workplace. All of those things count for on your behalf. So cultural fit is definitely the third key challenge. And then finally, there's one challenge that broad has an array of different senses for each one. Like when you have to you often have to pass some form of a coding interview or a code challenge. There are different names for it, but you're going to have to showcase your coding skills, and that's definitely one of the challenges. And often it is not because of knowledge or even skill, but because of the specific skill of being tested. Because when you are tested in your coding skills, it's not exactly about how well you code, but it's about how well you solve a problem. So how well you address the understanding of the problem you have in your hand. How well you ask confirmation questions, clarification and confirmation questions, for example, or how you think about designing, developing a solution. So all of those things are additional skills that add to your, let's call them, your core coding skills. So there are other things you should know when you come to the point of being tested, or uh, being challenged in a particular code problem. Enters the VanHack Academy. So there you go. So that's we work to tackle all of those four key challenges. So the VanHack Academy is an educational platform. We work to cover the most important dimensions of the international job hunting game for tech talent. So here's what we offer: live practice classes. So our instructors go live in the classes with you to help you work on different code challenges or different topics to prepare for the other challenges, like behavioral interview, for example, or intercultural communication. So you interact with real instructors, real advisors, and with other tech talent like yourself. Then we offer detailed and exclusive online courses that we have, as I said, we have recently completely redesigned. We have a number of video lessons that you're going to be able to find in our academy. And finally, we tackle the profile issue as well by offering individual and customized profile reviews, and we give profile feedback. And no, it's not a computer, it's a human being that looks into the details of your profiles and gives you actionable feedback, so that you can continue to refine and improve your profile. So here's what the Academy is. It's a combination of our signature curriculum with both recorded or video lessons and live practice. It is also a set of services around your profile review, so we give you immediate feedback and customized, not immediate, but customized feedback on your profile, along with the support of a community currently on Slack. So we have an exclusive Slack community through which you can interact with other members and also with ourselves, with us, to get support and yeah, make sure you're making the best out of our services. As I said, our educational program has a core program split into four main tracks. The first one is called Interview Performance, where we're going to focus on helping you get prepared for the behavioral type of interviews, the cultural fit type of interviews. We also tackle code skills, so we offer an educational experience around code challenges to help you improve your problem solving skills and so on, along with Beyond Code, which expands on that to help you discuss technology topics in the context of a job interview as well. And finally, we have a course on intercultural communication that is going to tackle your ability of talking about or adapting to a multicultural environment. These are four main tracks, and they also offer live practice lessons every week. So we have uh, over 40 live lessons a month. Every week from Monday to Thursday, you have at least 3 opportunities of joining a live class to practice the content we're offering. And as I said, that all of that is complemented by a profile review. So we want to make sure your profile is just like you, unique. So you can request a profile review under your VanHack profile. You get one-way feedback in up to 5 business days, and you can get a new review every month. So every 30 days, as long as you have an active membership, you get to request a new profile review. And last but not least, you get to join our exclusive Slack community where you're gonna interact with other members, other job seekers as yourself, and get support from our team. If all of that hasn't convinced you, here's the cherry on top. We have a money back guarantee policy that is not time bound at all, provided you keep an active membership and you apply for jobs through VanHack. When you get hired through VanHack, that's the only thing to be aware of. You need to get hired through VanHack. You can claim all your money back. No, it's not time bound. If you get hired, or when you get hired, better yet, because you will, you get your money back every last cent. So that's our strict policy on your educational experience. That's how much we trust our work. But if even that wasn't enough, we still have our Black Friday sale going on. No, it's not our Black Friday sale. We do this near the holidays, but it's our biggest sale of the year. You get up to 40% off and an extra month for free. This offer is valid until December 4th, this coming Sunday. If you want to join us on a big discount, this is your opportunity. That's what you've been waiting for. So you just get to the link, and Kami is sharing in the chat as well. But you just go to bit.ly /academy sale, and that's what you're going to get. You can choose. If you pick the 1 month plan, you get a discount and another month, a second month for free. If you get the 3 months plan, you get a bigger discount and a 4th month for free. So that's our biggest sale of the year by far. And there you go. That's what I had in stock for you today. And now we're opening for questions. And Cami, would you help me here? I think we're moving also to the networking rooms or something like that.
Yeah, let's. Thank you so much, Guy. It was really a good presentation. I think you shared all the details about the VanHack Academy, but still we have some questions from the audience. So
Oh,
let's
yeah, sure.
start here by answering some questions, and then we can move to the networking tables if people still have some questions to share with us. So let me start with the first one here. Let me show just a second. And I'm working on it. So the first one. So let's get started with this one. So it's about the schedule. So would you mind sharing some details about our academy schedule with the audience?
Sure, not at all. So, all right, that's a great question. We have a standing schedule, and I think I mentioned at some point where we offer 3 live lessons a day. Those 3 live lessons are in Pacific time because VanHack is based out of Vancouver, Canada. And they run at, well, currently at 3 a.m. Pacific time, 7 a.m. Pacific time, and 2 p.m. Pacific time. Let me see if I can do a quick conversion here for you. So you said, oops, I'm sorry, I moved myself out of the, okay, in the Pacific. So let me take the time in New Delhi, for instance. Right now it's 10 p.m. and in Canada right now it's 10:30 a.m. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you are probably around 12 hours ahead. So that means lessons for you would be 3 p.m., 7 p.m., and 2 in the morning, give or take. I think there's also a half an hour there that you need to add to it, so 2:30, something like that. So not the most convenient, I'm sure, not the most convenient times, but maybe you can make it happen. I know we have plenty of students coming from India. In fact, it's our second nationality in at the academy, right behind Brazil. So I think you can make do with that. I'm happy to answer more specific questions as well if you want to reach out on email. But yeah.
Perfect. And remember that at the same day, I mean, the practice will be similar on both, on all the sessions, right, Guy? So you can attend all of them or the one that best fits your agenda. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Great.
we repeat the same topic throughout the day. So whichever time you can join, it's going to be the very same plan.
Perfect. So we have another question here about the recruitment processes. This is a common question we receive, right? Would you mind expanding on it?
Yes, thank you for that. That's a big and important question, and we have to be very clear about that because it's an ethical issue. The answer to the question, do I get VIP treatment in recruitment processes by VanHack, is no. You do not get VIP treatment. And there's a very specific, and you will probably agree, a reasonable reason for that. You don't get VIP treatment because we are working with you on your preparation to whatever job you want to apply for. And there's another team at VanHack that is working with the companies to make sure that they get the best available, the best possible talent for the positions they are advertising. If those two things go hand in hand, if those two things work together, it would mean that we at VanHack are getting paid from the employer and the employee, and benefiting you would be very sketchy. So we cannot do that for an ethical reason on the first hand, but also for a legal reason in the second hand. In Canada, recruiters like VanHack or companies working in recruiting, such as VanHack, are forbidden from getting paid by prospective employees to get placed in companies if they're also getting paid by companies to do the same job. So we don't do that, and that's the reason why the educational portion works as a kind of an isolated, a separated business in a way from the VanHack recruiting part, because we want to make sure we are being fair with everyone and not giving anyone benefits that they shouldn't be getting. You will get our best possible services. I can assure you of that, our knowledge and our support. But we cannot influence any recruiting process. That would be unethical and illegal, and we don't do that.
Yeah, and that's why we make sure everyone have the same chances, right? So you all
Yeah.
have the same chances when you apply for jobs at VanHack.
Yes.
Yeah, the other question here is about remote opportunities. So you talked a lot about it, right, Guy, that perhaps
Yeah.
people can start like with the remote jobs and then relocate. And the answer is yes, right? We do have remote jobs.
Yeah, there are
Yeah.
plenty of opportunities. I don't know exactly the ratio right now between remote and relocate types of opportunities, but I can tell you that remote opportunities have been growing quite a bit. And yeah, there are plenty of opportunities, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to the next one. Let's see here. We will focus on the questions related to the academy today. Okay, everyone. But of course, that we will have some time in a few minutes for a networking moment with special tables where you can keep asking us some questions. So I'm focusing right now on the academy related questions here. So let me move on to the next one. So, Guy, what's your opinion on that? So, how much time should I commit to achieving my goals with the academy? So, can you provide some insights
Yeah.
about the commitment?
Um, I will try to answer that question in two ways. The first of all is um, it's about the quality of the time more than the quantity of the time you put in. So you want to make sure you are sharp and ready when opportunity comes. That means, and it's probably going to have a different meaning for each one of you, but let me tell you about myself. If I go a week without practicing something, even if I'm good at, if I go a week without doing it, I can tell, I'm not at the top of my game. So honestly, the answer about how much time for me is more about how often you commit, how often you're doing something towards that particular goal. So 1 hour, a couple of hours a week, 10 hours a week, it's going to depend on you, of course. But what I wouldn't do, if I can answer that question in that way, what I wouldn't do is go 2, 3, or 4 weeks without putting any practice into those skills. Okay. And then the second part of the question is it depends on how far you are from the goals, right? So if you're just getting started in coding, and I don't know, you have maybe 1 or 2 years of experience doing it, you're probably going to need a lot more input than someone who's been doing it for 5, 7, 10 years, right? So you're probably going to be further away from the goal. So that depends on how fast you want to get there, right? If you want to get there quicker, you're probably going to have to set 5 or 10 hours a week or even more to get there quicker. If you're close enough, maybe you can establish a different pace. So I think that in the combination of those two, answers, the quality of the time you put in and the distance you are from the goal, that's where you're probably going to find your sweet spot. So the answer beyond that is very personal.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Guy. Let me bring a question from the chat here that I think it's important for us to answer. So, is your program designed to accommodate advanced programmers, or do you need to start all over? So, would you mind answering that question from Collins?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Collins. Yes, the short answer is yes. It is adapted to, well, it is designed to accommodate different levels of mastery, let's call it that. So there's no starting over. There wouldn't be a reason, because the way the program has been designed is not exactly sequential, in a way that you're building and you have to attend each lesson in order. Of course, the lessons do have an order, and we do organize our content in to make for a good educational experience. But you're not required to take certain lessons before you can take more advanced levels. Not at all. What does happen is, in the context of the live lessons, the instructors tend to adapt their input and their support based on the attendees, right? So based on the people who have joined. And overall, most of our members do have some experience. 5 to 8 years is kind of where most of our members are. So you tend to get some more up intermediate, advanced levels in terms of coding challenges, for example. So it is going to depend on you. Our instructors are ready to work with a basic to advanced questions, so easy to difficult challenges. Ultimately, it's going to come. It's going to depend on you to join the lessons and help the instructors make them more advanced as well.
Yeah, perfect.
And just the
Perfect.
second half, it's interactive to the point where you get to ask questions. Absolutely. You're
Yeah.
online with the instructor. It's normally not a lot of people. We tend to get somewhere between 5, 10 to up to 20 people in a class, usually not more than that. If we start getting a much bigger attendance than that, we're probably going to be releasing new time slots as well. So yeah, do make your best to join us, and so we can offer that.
Absolutely. So, last question here from the chat as well, before we move on to the networking table so that we can keep interacting. We have some people from the team here that will be there answering other questions from you. So, let me show here, Guy, the last question. So, does the VanHack Academy build upon your already existing skill set or a new skill set? And what is the duration or the benefit for the academy members?
Getting employment opportunities. Okay. All right. So first part of the question, the answer is actually both. We do build upon existing skill set, and for many people, we help you develop a new skill set. If the question about developing a new skill set is aimed at a new stack, for example, then the answer would have to be no. We are not teaching people to code from scratch. That's not the goal of the Academy. We don't have a particular course on learning to code or even learn a new programming language. That's not how it works. Our coding courses are aimed at helping you develop the adjacent skills to what you already know in terms of coding. So we help you with problem solving. We help you interpreting a code challenge. We help you with repertoire. You get to know different ways, perhaps you get to discuss different strategies to solve a particular challenge. So all of these skills are the ones we're working on, and not the foundations, let's say, of coding. Even though you do get some lessons that are around the foundations of coding, we do have specific lessons on data structures, and there's fundamentals, time and space complexity, these kinds of things. Yes, the lessons are there, but they're not meant to help you get started. They're meant to help you refine, better understand, clear maybe questions you have that are lingering in your mind, just help you with that. Okay. Other than that, if you haven't interviewed much in the past, for example, then it's very likely a new skill set. Or if you haven't worked in a multicultural environment, then you're likely benefiting in the sense of kind of a new skill set. So, as I said, it's both. And then the benefit for a member getting employment opportunities in Canada, as I said, there are no benefits in the sense of a VIP treatment, but um, I'll give you a hint, wink, wink. Um, Most of our team is based out of Canada. VanHack is a company based out of Canada, so most of us have plenty of experiences recruiting, interviewing, and supporting people through getting jobs in Canada. So most of our experience, our collective experience, is going to be on that particular country and context. So with that, you might be getting some quote unquote additional support, but that's as far as it goes. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Guy, for sharing, just for us to be mindful about your time and
Sure.
our time as well, to make sure we stick to 1 hour here. We are opening the networking tables right now. Okay, so you can join us there. You see that there will be 4 networking tables there. And in each of them, you find someone from VanHack, me, Guy, and other colleagues will be there to help you out. Okay, and then we can answer your final questions about the VanHack Academy. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you for asking your questions. Hopefully it was an insightful session for you all about the VanHack Academy and insights for you to prepare your strategy for 2023. We are getting getting ready, and hope you are also committing yourself to do that, because next year is around the corner, and I hope you are preparing yourselves. And if you want to join us, the Academy, to help you get ready, we are happy to welcome you aboard. Right, Guy?
100%. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. We'll see you at the networking tables. See you. Bye.